Heidi anymore. I'm taking my hands off, and Holy Spirit, you do it. Well, during the end of the week, she phoned, she said, guess what? I accepted Jesus. And I thought, wow. And later on, she told me, though, that she had almost been ready to give up that friendship with me because I had been pushing a little hard, but it paid off. She read the book, she enjoyed the book. And we had so many wonderful spiritual conversations together. I always enjoyed those times with Heidi. She was very open. Her faith, I think, as was mentioned, was childlike, and she received so easily. And so I know even at the end she wanted to have one more conversation one-on-one time, and it didn't happen. One of the things we also did together was La Leche League. Heidi was a born leader. She started La Leche League in Steinbach, and we took the training together in Winnipeg. She was the leader. I was her right-hand person. And that was a really good group of mothers. We made a lot of friendships there, bonded together, and that was a time when we brought our children together for even, fun times of outside of the chapter meetings with our kids. And so that was a bond that we had, and it strengthened. Another thing that we both enjoyed was garage sales. I had one every year, and Heidi loved them too, and she would bring all her stuff from Blumenort to my house in Steinbach, and we both liked meeting people, we both liked selling, and we both liked making a little bit of money. Not a lot, probably, but we had a good time doing this year after year. So I felt a little gypped. We went to BC just while she was in the hospital, and I went to visit her almost every day before we left. And but I didn't say that final goodbye. But she told me in the hospital that she wanted to go home to be with the Lord. She didn't want to move here on this earth. And so she said, I'm just telling you that. And we texted a lot while I was in BC. One night I got a text at night. And she said, I think she went home in between. And she said, I'm having a hard time breathing. I don't want to go back to the hospital. What should I do? And I said, I think if you can't breathe, you should go back to the hospital. And so I prayed in the middle of the night. And we texted a lot. And one of her last things, she again said to me, you've been such a blessing as a sister. We both didn't have sisters. We had sister-in-laws, but not sisters. And so we were kind of adopting one another. And so that was good. And I didn't say that final goodbye, but it's okay. She's where she's having a wonderful time right now. And it's you boys, Ian and Lenny and Clinton, she's left a legacy through you. And I just wish you guys the best. Ian, I'm glad I'm in touch with you. Lenny, I'm almost crying now because you're moving. I'm going to miss you big time. But I know you will have a wonderful time with Clinton and Crystal, and hope to see you guys around sometime, because I feel I'm connecting to your mom through you guys. And your parents, both Norm and Heidi, have left a legacy through you. And it's been a privilege to be a part of your family. Not so much in recent years, but when you were kids. Heidi and, sleepovers. She has some pictures of that, and I saw some pictures here too. So I just say now, auf Wiedersehen, Heidi.
These are all such hard acts to follow. My goodness. Okay. My name is Ruth Dirksen. Heidi and I have known each other. We knew each other forever and ever. The first time that I saw Heidi was in this church. And I looked at her and I saw Norm, and he had this beautiful girl with him. And I thought, where was Norm working? He was working up north, and I thought, could she possibly be Indigenous? She had those beautiful long black hair, and she had that lovely dark tan. And I thought, wow, Norm really scored. He really scored. especially coming from a blonde little Mennonite girl from here. I envied that dark tan and those dark hair. She and I got to know each other when we were both teaching in Blumenort. That's where we started. Marion said that she got to know her teaching at Woodlawn. Heidi and I were both teaching in Blumenort. And that's where our friendship began. Our friendship grew, whether it was baseball, Bible studies. Norm and Heidi started coming to our Bible study, and it was just amazing. I remember so clearly, too, how Norm would lead some of our Bible studies, because we took turns, and they were always done with so much, both of them, with so much time that they put into it and so much research. It was amazing. When I taught my part, it was done very quickly. It was not done that way. I was also involved with her with the Lacia League. We did birthdays together. Clinton, we have some really cute pictures of you when you were a little shaver, and you came to our place for birthdays. Her mom and dad both died around the same time that my mom died, which gave us many, many times of reflection together as we went down memory lane together. My mom died in 95, and her mom and dad died right around the same time, so we did a lot of sharing together. I loved to hear Heidi laugh. She had the most infectious giggle. And I remember after she passed away, many, many times, a joke would come into my head, and I would go to the phone, and I wanted to share it with her, because I knew she'd laugh at it. And she would often laugh even if she'd heard it before, because I sometimes forgot that I told her that particular joke before. She laughed again. She was good at that. The night before she died, before she passed away, I phoned her and Lucille, the sister-in-law. Lucille, you've been so unbelievable during that time. I'm so glad you were there with her. And Lucille said, should I put the phone to her ear? And she said yes. And then I said to Heidi, would you like me to sing for you? And then she said, yes, Ruth, would you? And I sang for her. And then Lucille said, Ruth, did you hear her sing with you? Heidi sang that song, the same song that I was singing, and it was such an amazing thing, because I didn't hear Heidi sing a lot, and she sang that song together. And Marion, she may have asked you to speak here today, but she actually asked me to sing at her funeral, but I'm not going to sing today. I sang to her that night.
Yeah, you did.
And
You were the last one to sing to her. After that, no one else talked with her.
and it was just it's just such an amazing memory to me. A very beautiful memory. Thanks, guys.
Was there was it apricot bread?
You don't have to talk about that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it was. This is my house.
So Jenny said that their tradition was Christmas. Well, if we had a tradition, it was New Year's. And Heidi would phone, and we would come over for apricot brandy. Now, not every year, and I don't know, I can't remember how long ago it started, or why or where, but it started, and that was a thing. The last time was, I don't know, the first New Year's after Norm was gone, maybe, I'm not sure. Relatively recent. And Lenny was there, and he served us the apricot brandy. Mine was so full. I think you had to be so careful that I appreciated every last drop. But that wasn't what I was going to say. It just, Jenny jolted my memory. A memory I have happened right here. Heidi wasn't here. Some of you are Ridgewood Church members. That night that I remember when I was sitting there was when Heidi's application to join the Ridgewood Church was discussed by the membership. Well, Mennonite churches have rules, and Heidi was in transgression of one of them. She smoked. She never stopped. The first person who spoke it just had such a hard time that Ridgewood would accept a smoking member into their membership. You know, the standard would be lowered, the bar was going to be lowered, this just wasn't going to work. And there were 2 or 3, well, I'm not sure how many, but the first people who spoke about that. It sounded a bit grim until some other people started to speak up. And what did you say, Travis? Grace and stuff like that? And there weren't a lot of people who spoke that way, but as tradition have it, there was a vote. I don't know the exact vote, but it was probably in the neighborhood of 45 to 3 or 4 in favor of accepting her.
Yes.
Couldn't get her to stop smoking, though.